If you understand this topic that you're seeing on the screen right now, I assure you, any terminal examination you are about to write will be a walkover. WAEC, NECO, JAMB, IGSC, whatever it may be, will be an absolute walkover. So in today's video, it's going to be the beginning of a series where we get to break down this topic called organic chemistry. Sit back, relax, and enjoy every bit of what I've got for you because trust me, it's going to be a banger. So let's begin by defining what this bad boy means. What is organic chemistry exactly? Now, don't get confused by the seemingly big Englishes that you're hearing right now, okay? Organic chemistry is simply a branch of chemistry. We have many branches of chemistry. We have physical chemistry, we have analytical chemistry, we have um, petroleum chemistry, and so many others that I won't be mentioning in this video. But you see, organic chemistry is the branch of chemistry that studies compounds of carbon. So when we say organic chemistry, in other words, we are simply saying the chemistry of compounds that contain carbon. It is as simple, as basic, and as easy as that. So, in other words, when organic chemistry is mentioned, the element that takes the center stage is the element called carbon. I trust I'm making sense at this point. So, organic chemistry, as we've said, is the branch of chemistry that studies compounds of carbon. So today, in today's world, organic chemistry focuses on a number of things. Okay, when we talk about compounds that contain carbon, we are referring to hydrocarbons, we are referring to concepts like functional groups, organic reactions, and we're even talking about carbon-based molecules used in fuels, medicines, plastics, food, and even life itself. We're going to be talking about each and every one of these concepts step by step. And interestingly, we're going to be learning how to name organic compounds, which is a huge part of the concept of organic chemistry. So now that we have defined what organic chemistry is, it is also important to state why carbon is unique because if carbon is the element that takes the center stage, one might be asking, okay, so why is carbon so unique? What is so special about this element? Well, carbon is special in organic chemistry because of two basic reasons. There are two basic reasons that makes carbon special in organic chemistry, and I'm going to be talking about those two basic reasons in a moment. Reason number one is because of its tetravalency, okay? So let's break down what this word means. Tetravalency. The word tetra here means four or having four objects. Valency here simply means outermost shell. So when we say tetravalency, we are referring to any element or atom that has four electrons in its outermost shell. And that's one concept that applies to carbon. You see, carbon has four valence electrons. It has four electrons in its outermost shell. The electronic configuration of carbon, by the way, is given as 1s2, 2s2, and 2p2. Here is what the electronic configuration looks like in a structural format. You can see the first shell of carbon over here. I'm circling it right now. And you can see there are two electrons in the first shell, 1 and 2. When you check out the second shell, which happens to be the outermost shell, you can count four electrons. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, there is a law called the law of octet configuration, and it states that for an element to be stable, it needs to have 8 electrons in its outermost shell for it to be stable. So now that carbon has 4 electrons in its outermost shell, it simply means that for it to be stable, it needs 4 extra electrons in its outermost shell. Now, that being said, based on this, carbon needs four more electrons to complete its configuration. So because it needs 4 more electrons to complete its configuration, what does this mean? It means therefore that it is able to form covalent bonds or covalent bonds. It is able to share bonds with other atoms like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, halogens, and even other carbon atoms. As we proceed into the concepts where we'll be seeing how to name organic compounds, you'll be seeing where carbon is forming bonds with elements like hydrogen. You'll be seeing structures like this. You'll be seeing elements where carbon is forming bonds with even other carbon atoms, or even structures like this where carbon is forming a bond with oxygen. We're going to be looking at all of this in depth. But I trust you're getting value for today's video. It's just an introduction into the concept of organic chemistry and what it is all about. So, reason number two why carbon is so special in organic chemistry is the reason called catenation. Now, don't get confused by this seemingly big grammar, okay? Catenation is simply the ability of an element to bond with itself to form long chains. So, what does this mean? For example, we're talking about carbon. So, carbon has the ability to form a bond with another carbon atom, and this can join with another carbon atom, and it continues on and on and on, and we have a very long continuous chain. Now this concept is known as catenation. I hope you're getting value for this. So carbon does this thing extremely well. It can form straight chains, it can form branched chains, it can form ring structures, it can form double bonds, and it can form triple bonds with other carbon atoms. We'll be seeing in depth how this happens. So because of this ability of carbon to form other bonds with other carbon atoms like itself. This is why millions of organic compounds exist in today's world, because no other element is able to form such stable long chains like carbon. The ability to catenate with other carbon atoms and the ability to form covalent bonds with other elements. This is what makes carbon so special. I hope you got value for today's video. I made it short so you could absorb everything that will be put out. Up next, we're going to be looking at the structural formula, how compounds are stated in organic chemistry. I want you to look out for that video. It's going to be a banger just like this one. By the way, my name's David, and all I do is to help high school kids excel in chemistry. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. See you there.